this week is finding you, or whatever day it is that you watch this is finding you well. A little incense. So I actually have more candles out here today than I normally do, and so I gotta figure out how I'm gonna be able to get them going. A little Palo Santo. A little Palo Santo keeps the bad away. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, and a little cinnamon, and we'll be good to go. Because it's a party, but it is not complete without cinnamon, baby. Oh, that smells so amazing. I know I say that every time. All right, be right back. And I'm back. Hey, y'all. Okay. Happy September, because we here. All right, ain't no turning back. Before we even get started, let us pray. Father God, in the name of Jesus, thank you so much for this opportunity to come together right now, to pause, to honor, to acknowledge, to appreciate you and all that you have done for us. First of all, it's a miracle that we're even in your presence right now, because that means that we've awakened today. And we pray that we make it back to our bed safely this evening. We thank you for our ancestors. We thank you for them fighting battles in realms that we cannot see. We offer this time to you and them, and we honor the angels that protect us, that are on assignment, that are bestowing messages on your behalf and healing us. We return any negative energy, any evil eye back to sender 10 times fold. Enjoy all of that. And the church say, so I had to find my bell. Amen. My altar is getting a little crowded, so it was like a little maze just now, but I'm always changing stuff around, and so I'm sure I will figure out a better strategy to incorporate these new things on my altar. But anyway, enough about the altar. How are we? Tell me. I'm so excited to see each and every one of you, and thank you for joining me for this time to acknowledge the divine and to just breathe. Take a moment to breathe in the midst of whatever is happening in your life. It doesn't always have to be drama, Never stop thanking and being grateful. We don't save that for times of trouble. We save that for, we give that every day. We give acknowledgement and gratitude every single day, regardless of what is happening before us. How you feel on the inside cannot be shaken unless you allow it. You can make the decision at any given moment, regardless of the circumstances, on how you present yourself, how you feel internally, and how you deal. For those of you all who are new, I'm Dee. I am your nurse, your personal trainer, your travel agent, your big sister, your Christian intuitive, your company for the moment, and hopefully your inspiration to keep going. And everything else will be listed in the description box, along with everything that we do today, all cards that will be pulled, and some extra little messages from my perspective once we're done. All right, this is the Blessed Seven. How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. Anne Frank. Everything is possible for one who believes. Mark 9:23. And this is my trust. Keep calm and trust. Keep calm and trust God deck. They're little inspirational cards I picked up many years ago that have quotes and scriptures to remind you everything's going to be just fine. So keep calm and trust God. Oh, I had a card and lost it. It'll come back. So we'll pull 7 of these and then we'll move on to something else. May you be blessed by the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Psalms 115:15. Hope is one of the principal springs that keeps mankind in motion. Thomas Fuller. Make sure I ain't flashing nobody. We are slowly inching our way into fall. I ain't claiming it yet. I don't even know when fall starts, but it ain't fall yet, so it don't matter. I know by the end of this week, it's going to be in the 80s out where I'm at, and I'm going to take full advantage. I am very excited for the upcoming weeks. I have some things planned that I am very much excited about. You know, whenever you can, I don't care what it is. It could be a walk. It could be going out to dinner. It could be seeing a friend. Make it something to be excited about. You know, one of my favorite things I used to say a lot was, I'm so excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. Because in that excitement, it's just like, that's the thrill of life. You know, that's the thing that makes you want to keep going, right? Things to look forward to. So even if it's just a bike ride on a nice hot day, or a walk on a nice warm day, or just a nice day in general that you can take advantage of, even if you have responsibilities, it's all about your perspective, right? We can be pessimistic or we can be excited. And I am excited. Hope in the Lord, for with the Lord there is steadfast love, and with him is plentiful redemption. Psalms 137. Give thanks to the Lord of heaven, for his steadfast love endures forever. Psalms 136:26. Leading with a heart of full of gratitude, sprinkled or saturated in optimism, will get you everywhere. Okay? It'll get you everywhere. Your reality is what you deem it to be. I was in class and my instructor said something about how when you pick up books, it's that person's world, their perspective. You're peering into their perspective, and everyone has their own, and all of us are right. However, we see that how things should go in our own individual movies. If it works for you, it works for you. The question is your movie a horror movie, or is it a rom-com, or is it, whatever? That's not what she was saying. But the point is that if you want better, just make up your mind that you will have better. It's so simple. It's so simple that people make it hard in this world, I think, because they can't fathom how easy life can go if they simply get their mind on board and just deem it so. Just deem it so. My life is easy because I love it to be easy, and everything comes easily to me because it keeps my blood pressure down, keeps me young, it keeps me happy, and that's what's important to me. Some people enjoy chaos, and I can't agree with that, but that's their right, So you are the director of this movie. Speaking of which, all right, so on my social media platform, I posted, I came across this video, 20 weird facts or 20 unknown facts about the movie The Fifth Element. If you don't know anything about that movie, please go and watch it, okay? And if you haven't seen it in a long time, it's worth watching again. It's a cult classic. It is a sci-fi cult classic. But the things that I found out about that movie was quite interesting. Everything from the fact that the person who wrote it did it when they were 16 to escape extreme loneliness. And so he used his imagination to craft this masterpiece that it would later become. It was actually supposed to be a 3-part series at one point. John Coutier, I believe, Jean-Claude Coutier. I might be saying it wrong. He's a famous French designer. He did all the costumes. The weirdest fact of all, well, 2, but the weirdest fact of all is the fact that Ruby Rod, who was played by Chris Tucker, that character was actually written for none other than the Purple One himself, Prince. Child, that blew my mind. I said, whoa. It makes sense though when you look at how that character is. I could see it being written for him, but it was a hard no. It was all, he was actually all on board with everything until he saw the wigs and the costume. He was just like, you know what? Even though he was very androgynistic and he really embraced the dichotomy of his, masculine female energy, he was the true yin yang. Okay, he said it was too feminine. It was just too even for him. We talking about a man who walked around in heels, lace, and chaps with all the cheeks out. I mean, both sex, full display. But he said, I can't do it. I can do anything for love. But he wouldn't do that. Okay. The Lord is a refuge for the oppressed, a stronghold, in times of trouble. Psalms 9:9. I get so excited I go fast, y'all. So just bear with me. Patience and perseverance have a magical effort before which difficulties disappear and obstacles vanish. John Quincy Adams. Try to say that 10 times fast. But yeah, check it out. It's on YouTube. Just type in weird facts about Fifth Element, and it's a nice little rabbit hole to dive down. I to the point where I'm like, you know what? I think I've seen it enough, but I can watch it again. I'll watch it again. I remember when it came out, I was so excited about it. What another thing was the fact that people booed it, and it was the most expensive sci-fi movie that came out of France, um, with an American cast and a British crew. But they hated it at Cannes. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. And the rest of the world was like, yeah, forget y'all. We love it. Okay. The critics hated it, but the world loved it. The other second weird fact that didn't trump the fact that Prince was supposed to play Ruby Rod, Corbin Dallas, the main character, Bruce Willis, who owned that. Everybody in that movie, I think, owned, especially Mila, who played Lilu. Mel Gibson was up for that role, and the director was like, yeah, no, he's too harsh and too cool and wouldn't bring the adventure quirkiness. I forget exactly how he worded it, but it was like there needed to be a nice dance between the action figure aspect of the character, but also that witty sarcasm. And Bruce Willis, he owned that. Shout out to Bruce. I hate what's going on with him. If you don't know, check it out. He's going through some serious health issues. He has been a blessing to the cinematic field for so long. So I'm an 80s baby. To watch actors that I grew up with age is completely surreal. It just, we have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. Hebrews 6:19. God will not permit any troubles to come upon us unless he has a specific plan by which great blessings can come out of difficulty. Park, Peter Marshall Park. Okay. All right, let's see. Be strong and of good courage, for the Lord your God, he is the one who goes with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:6. Let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap the harvest of blessing. Galatians 6:9, and that is 6. We got one to go. Yeah, I was having this conversation the other day with someone where I mentioned to them that nothing goes unseen. All right, nothing goes unseen. The good that we do and the not so great that we do. And either way, we will reap the consequences and benefits of our actions. So never grow weary in doing the right thing, even if you think no one is looking. The universe has a way of letting you know, oh, we saw you. We saw that. And we got you. And also, I came to this conclusion a long time ago. If you ever want to know genuinely who someone was or is, look at the first half of their life. How's that second half going for them? Be strong and do not give up, for your work will be rewarded. 2 Corinthians 15:7. Keep your face to the sunshine, and you cannot see a shadow. Helen Keller. All right. That is our blessed 7, and it will be listed in the description box below, along with an extra little message from me. And then we're going to move on to our affirmations, because we only write checks that our asses can cash, and we have to be sure that we are purposeful in what we're speaking upon ourselves. Straight up. Don't be out here reckless with your mouth. Don't do it. I don't care how bad you want to. It's not worth it. I have literally said things and it came to fruition because it just rolled. It was such an effortless. And that's the thing about manifestations. The less energy, it's so weird. It's like the less connected you are to what you're saying, the more probability that not only will it manifest, because everything will, but the speed. I made a statement one time about, I ain't getting a dog unless it shows up on my doorstep. Child, it wasn't 2 days later. It wasn't 48 hours later that the person I was dating at the time, his brother and his girlfriend, showed up with a puppy. She was pit and mystery. To this day, I have no idea what that dog, what her breed was. And it was so unfortunate because she definitely deserved, I swear, I don't know what's going on with my notifications. I'm sorry, y'all. She definitely deserved a better circumstance. Like, I didn't want a dog here because of the way that my home is set up and my schedule at the time, because my children were younger. And I ended up taking her somewhere where they wouldn't euthanize her. I just didn't have enough support to take care of her. You know, I was a young mom. Both my boys, I think, were like, hold on, they weren't that young. How old were they? Yeah, they were. They were like 3 and 4, maybe 4 and 5. And I was doing long hours at the hospital and having to come home and take care of them. And the person that should have been able to help didn't at all. And she was just crated all day. And I just thought that was completely inhumane. You know, I'm like, that's just not, I wouldn't want to live like that. And so to give her a better chance, you know, I took her to the right place. I choose to try even though I am afraid. That is a new one. I choose to try even though I'm afraid. Yeah, you got to get over the fear factor. Fear is like, how can I put fear? I want to say it's like walking down a dark hallway, anticipating something jumping out at you, knowing good and hell well ain't nothing there. I used to tell my youngest child all the time, who was terrified, oh God, he's probably gonna kill me for making, because he watches my videos. He's so sweet. He literally has a folder that says, I love you, Mom, and it has all my content in it. Oh, he just melts my heart. Both my boys do. But he, this is when he was very, 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 very young. Very young. I want to put this out there because this is no longer the case. This was when he was itty bitty, teeny weeny. Okay. Little boy. And rightfully so, because most children are afraid of the dark. Though he would never admit it then, and he would never admit it now. So I'm sure I'm going to hear about this later. However, I used to tell him all the time, son, if there was something in this house I'm the biggest one out of the three of us because at the time they were small, and I'm not a big person. I'm only 5'3". I only weigh like 128 pounds. Okay. Um, and I I used to tell them all the time, if there was something here that were going to attack or eat us, they would start with me. They would work their way with the biggest one first, and then digest all that, and then come for you. In which case, you would have more than enough time to get away. Okay, there's nothing here. So fear is completely absurd. It's a waste of time, and it will stagnate you to the point where your dreams may never come true. And how sad would that be? I have literally met people who I was blessed enough to hear their dream, because you can't tell your dreams to everyone, unfortunately. You have people out here who will hear your dream and wish the worst for you. That's a whole nother video. But anyway, I have been blessed to meet people and hear their dreams and be excited right along with them, only for them to die a short time after. And the dream died with them. If you just heard my tummy, I have been fasting for over 40 hours now. So I'm not actually hungry. I will say that, but the fast is coming to an end very soon. I usually fast from Saturday to Monday and Wednesday to Friday. So I'm excited, but I'm not hungry. I deserve to feel joy. Yes, you do. About everything. Make everything an adventure. Make everything exciting. Make everything something to be another reason to give the divine the utmost glory and praise. And I mean, seriously, even if it's what you may deem as a negative, right? Let's say not you, never you, but let's say someone was going through something really tough or they lost their job. I've been there a couple times. See it as a see it as an invitation to adventure. The divine got this thing out of the way so that we can get to business, the stuff that you really want to do. Because 9 times out of 10, if a tower has fallen, meaning that something has gone down and has ended, you probably made a request that would need that thing to be removed out of the way so that you can be in alignment for the thing that you've requested so it can manifest. So change your perspective. It's all good, literally. I believe in my ability to change the world with the work that I do. There you go. I'm at that point in my life where I absolutely am. I think I've always been here, but wanting to help people has always been deeply ingrained in me. But seriously, wanting to be a part of the positive change is really calling to me the longer I enjoy my vacation here on this planet. Okay. I never allude to anything remotely old when it comes to me. Okay. So I would never own that. You'll never hear me own it. And I'm very strategic in my verbiage when it comes to the fact that I am forever 23. Okay. Even though my children will shortly be grown, that's their problem, not mine. Okay. I'm forever 23 over here. And my oldest has a baby face. And I could tell at one point he wasn't too happy about that. And I'm like, sweetheart, it's going to come in handy when it's 50 years later and you still have a baby face. Trust me. I know exactly what to do to achieve success. Not to say that my youngest doesn't have a baby face, but he has facial hair. And my oldest, he's getting there, but I could tell at one point he was a little perturbed about that. And it's like, yeah, no, you don't have to deal with razors. You don't have to deal with, I need to shave today before I can go do something. It's an added expense that you may not even have to be concerned about. Not to mention, you have a beautiful face. Who wants to cover that up with hair? You don't need to. Some men need to. Some men need facial hair. They need that mustache. They need that goatee. They need that beard. Because what's up under there is a distraction from who they really are on the inside. So In other words, whatever hand that the divine has graced you with, blessed you with to experience this realm with, make it work, baby. I am courageous and stand up for myself. You better. Because if you don't, who will? And even if somebody else did stand up for you, it would never be the same for you standing up for you. Oh, we got infinity. Okay. Just 3 of them fell out. That's fine. Let's see. I am in control of how I react to others. Yes, you are. I think that's a true test of maturity, is being in control of yourself, even in unfavorable circumstances where people are trying to rage bait you, goad you into, you know, some emotional state that only benefits them on some sick level. So especially men, if you can get to a point where you can literally what's the word I want to use here, maintain yourself in spite of the circumstance, then you've won. My sons were talking about how they want to learn hand-to-hand combat and all these different martial arts, and we watch a lot of I'm sorry, I had some fire issues for a second. See, I remain calm. We watch a lot of action movies, and now they're at that point in their life where I wanna do that, and I wanna learn how to do that, and I'm like, yeah, but if you can't control this, you'll be nothing but a danger and a threat. You'll be a danger and a threat to society and those who love you most, because should you get upset and those techniques that you could learn, you become triggered, you could ruin everything in 5 seconds. So you have to master this before you can truly embody anything else. I am in complete charge of planning for my future. I always smile at that one. I let go of worries that drain my energy, because that's all they're going to do. I'm going to find that Bible verse. I keep saying this every time I see that card. There's a Bible verse. I think it's in either Mark or Matthew. It's a quote from Jesus that, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously, that worry has yet to do anything for anybody. Okay. So let the worry go. Dismiss the fear. Embrace what you've been given. Make it work. And go out here and rock your life, child. Who cares who's watching? The right eyes are, though. I can guarantee you that. Divine sees you, baby. And that's what's most important. Who are you when no one's looking except the divine? Okay. We're on to my cute little spiritual cards. All right. What's our spiritual messages for today? Make sure I shuffle them real good. Because I realized I was putting my cards away and I wasn't really doing a good job of mixing them back up again. Because sometimes but I feel like the messages, I shuffle. I was going to say, I feel like maybe I'm not shuffling good enough, but I do. So if a message comes out again, it was needed. But I digress. Okay. Take some time to rest and rejuvenate. You need to pace yourself for the changes that are coming your way. They are all positive, bigger and better things are coming for you. Just relax and trust. All right. I've definitely got that card a couple times, and I feel like I personally have been resting for some months now and enjoying every second of it. Let me tell you. Excuse me. If you think you are alone, you are not. We are beside you in all challenges that you face. Trust the outside sources will always be working with you to ensure the best outcome of every situation. We have your best interest at heart. We love you. beautiful. You're not alone. You are not. Okay. But you're not, though. You're not. That's why we acknowledge our ancestors, our angels, and the divine most of all, because it's true. You're always covered. You are always protected. You're always being led. Your life is actually more than just about you. You are the star, but you have a ripple effect through this universe that you won't understand until much later. And you're here on purpose. You're here for a reason. You signed up to be here, whether you want to admit it or not. What areas of your life are you avoiding? Are they causing you upset, worry, disrupted sleep? If so, these are the areas you need to focus on. As much as you don't want to, it is necessary. Tackle your demons head on. Don't allow them to rule you for another second longer. These cards don't always have correct punctuation, so it does remind me of something that I told someone the other day, and it was about letting go of trauma and bad memories. And so I asked them, I said, how do you do that? Do you know? And the person said, forget. And I said, okay, well, let me give you a example of the difference between forgetting versus letting go, truly letting go. Let's say someone is eating lunch in their kitchen. They stop for a moment, they have a bite to eat, and then they get a phone call that reminds them that they have somewhere to be very shortly. And so they hurry out the door and they go to whatever this thing is, and then that turns into another place that they need to go, and another place, and then they end up being out much later than they intended, and maybe not even coming home to the next morning. It was just a ripple effect of different scenarios that occurred. And when they got back home, what did they find on the kitchen counter? Their lunch. They had forgotten all about it. And this actually happened to me when I first bought my home. My children and I were attending church at the time, and we had left out in the evening to go to a Wednesday night service. And one of my boys was probably eating a cookie on the way out the door. And when we came back, there was an entire colony of ants that had helped themselves in and was working on that cookie in my foyer. And so in this made up scenario, I said that the person came home and there were all kinds of unpleasant visitors enjoying the forgotten lunch. Now, the difference is when you let go, it's like having something that you know can't sit in your garbage can. Like for me, my subdivision doesn't allow our garbage cans to be outside. They have to be stowed in the garage, which the way you get around that is just simply bagging up the unpleasant things that you know would rot and be in there way longer than they needed to be until the next garbage pickup. And so we literally bag up those things and walk them to a public garbage can. That is letting go. You're being purposeful in removing things that are potentially harmful. You're reconciling it and you're putting it far away from you once you have acknowledged it. That's the difference. Okay? So it's not about forgetting, it's about dealing and letting it go appropriately and healthfully. Things that have happened to us, are they okay? No. Forgiveness is not about saying it's okay and that whatever happened gets a pass. It's about genuinely understanding that everything that happens to us, whether we realize it or not, is for our own benefit in some type of way. There have been people who have gone through some of the most horrific scenarios who came out survivors and then was able to help other people. Now, could they sit back and say that it was worth it? That's something that is an individualized thing. But if it ended up being where the person was able to walk out stronger and help other people, alive, obviously, right? And help other people, then that was the point. Some of our traumas are not for us, although it does help us relate more. But we're all here collectively to help one another. And I think that's what our society needs to get back to, is the fact that we're meant to help each other. We are social creatures. We go too long without each other, we go insane. And so being able to help each other get through things and encourage, not even so much get through, but just encourage to continue going. Like, let's say someone's an athlete and they're new. I'm sure that there are, and let's say this is an up and coming MVP. I'm sure in the beginning of training and getting to that point, it was tough. And at some point, they might have wanted to give up. And the right voice came along and was just like, no, you got this. See it through. Right when most people want to give up is when they're really at the brink of their success, their breakthrough. And so having someone there to, and even if you don't have someone there, being able to even do it for yourself, again, you might just be the catalyst to help the next generation or the next person that comes along that's in the same circumstance. I love it when I go on YouTube and I see people putting out information, or not even just YouTube, people that write books. I'm reading a book right now called The Personal MBA. And I'm a firm believer that you're supposed to read every single page of a book. You don't skip the preface, you don't skip the intro, you read all of it, because that's important as well. And in the Personal MBA, he makes it very clear. I am cutting out all the fluff so that you don't waste your time getting a business degree when your basic stuff that you need to know is right here. Okay? Just keep this in your pocket. That way you can save unnecessary money and time and still be confused as hell in the end. And I was like, you know what? Thank you, sir. Because I actually contemplated on going to business school at one point, and I thought to myself, I'm like, there's got to be a different way. There's got to be a better way. And it is. So people who share their experiences, positive or negative, they've gone down that road. They're saving you time. Something's really talking to throw me off right now. Okay. Anyway, we have moved on to our rethink deck. Inner child healing. Now, can I read this? Yes, I can. I honor and nurture my inner child, tenderly healing the wounds of the past and embracing the pure joy and innocence. Excuse me. Okay, I had lemon water. And innocence within me. I release any pain or burdens, allowing my inner child to flourish and infuse my life with boundless happiness. Yes, that is the point. That right there. Everything I've been saying. I love it when the cards confirm and agree. Let it go. Let that inner child be. That inner child is still in there. That baby version of you is still here. You just been here a little bit longer. You just stuck around, really, and learned some stuff. But who you are, that inner child is still there. I feed my inner child all the time. That's why I'm so excited about some of the stuff that's coming up, because I know that's something that my inner child is going to absolutely enjoy. And there's still a childlike nature to me anyway. I don't think I've ever fully embraced adulthood, because I don't even acknowledge the word old when it comes to myself. So there's that. But my inner child is that excitement in me. She comes out all the time. Now, I can be boss when need to be, but for the most part, you're looking at my inner child. Intuition. I trust my intuition as a compass, guiding me towards the right path. I listen to the whispers of my inner voice, knowing that it holds wisdom and insight. With confidence in my decisions, I embrace the power of intuition to navigate life's choices and embrace my true purpose. There you go. Tapping into your intuition is a flex, baby, because it will cut out a whole lot of unnecessary. I was watching a video today by someone that I just came across. He's very good. I'm not even sure I know his name. I just subscribed to his channel just because I saw a couple of his videos and was like, okay, sir, okay. he did a video today that said that if you are trying to, the next time that you are trying to make a decision, envision yourself being in a boardroom full of people that you have either respected or respect, and running these things past them and see what you come up with. But that was pretty cool. All right, we're on a namaste already. And then we'll go on to our Bible roulette. We'll burn some bay leaves and get you back on your way, baby. All right. Namaste. Let's see. What are 2 messages and assignments? Because you know, Namaste always has you doing something. For my beautiful collective. And thank you for being here with me. Especially if you've gotten this far in the video. I certainly appreciate you. Okay. Oh, 2 came out together. All right, we'll take it. Practice gratitude and go on a cinematic adventure. Okay, let's see. Practice gratitude. I'm bored. Spend time throughout the day thinking or writing down the things that you are thankful for, such as the morning sun, warm oats and fruit, the flowers smiling back at you on your morning walk, a job to support your lifestyle, or whatever it may be. Noticing these little things and practicing gratitude is the first step in programming your mind to focus on the positive while releasing the negative. Love it. Eventually, there will be fewer and fewer of these negative thoughts and less stress. Instead of, I don't think I can handle another day of this traffic, you might instead think, this commute provides me the time to listen to my favorite podcasts. This bright new outlook can bring positive changes throughout many aspects of your life. Oh my gosh. So I live in a world, again, where everything is easy, right? And so if I have to drive beyond 20 minutes, especially if it's going to be about an hour or so, it's always on my terms. I'm either about to go make some money or go have some fun. Okay. And I make it an enjoyable experience because, yeah, I'm going to listen to something amazing. Regardless of what the weather is going through, I'm going to be able to take my time because I can plan it out. And so I default to positive. And it's not something that happened overnight. It did take some conscious effort on my end, even though I think I've inherently always been more positive than I have been negative. Doesn't mean that I haven't had times where I was finding myself in a negative place and needed to consciously make the decision to be positive. But practice makes perfect, right? And so try doing that, catching yourself at any given moment if you're saying something negative and just flipping it. Don't beat yourself up about it. It happens. Just become aware of yourself. Self-awareness is everything. And make the conscious decision to speak positively about any scenario that's happening. On a cinematic adventure, we all have drama in our lives. I can't say that I do, but okay. What would it be like if you projected our dramatic situations on the silver screen? Imagine doing just that. Project your situation in your mind as a movie. Watch the movie for 8 minutes. Movies help people see all perspectives. This exercise is intended to do just that. Watch and learn what you are missing when you are watching your movie rather than playing a role in it. Now, that is an interesting perspective. One of my favorite, I would say one, but I have so many. One of my favorite affirmations is I am drama free. I tend to get away from anything that elicits drama, so I can't necessarily relate to that. But I would like for you all to drop in the comments, what would be the title of your movie, aka your life, if it were a movie? What would be the title? That would say a lot. Or what genre? I think mine is probably, I don't know why rom-com comes to mind, but that's not even really, I don't think so. I would say adventure, comedy adventure. That's probably the genre of my movie, aka life, right about now. So moving right along to our busted Bible roulette. Anyone? Anyone? Let's see what the message is from Spirit today. All right, Spirit, what you got for us? We're gonna hit Psalms one day. I promise we are. I just don't know when. Let's do that real quick. Let's see. And let's see. I thought it said Psalms. I was about to lose it. Okay, we're in Judges. Dang. I really thought for like 2 seconds. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put some light on it here. And we're back. Okay, so we fell on. You know why I don't have a pencil over here? I have a pen, but not a pencil. The nerve. Judges, and this is a New Living Translation Bible, by the way. It's my busted Bible because I have literally abused this Bible over the last 15 years of having it. Is it 15? No, excuse me, 10 years. 10 years of having it. So we have fallen in Judges. Oh, does anybody know about Deborah? Deborah was a judge. Okay, so let's do 5. Yeah, we're gonna do 5 and 6. Okay, Judges 5 and 6. And just to give context, judges were people that God put in place to help the people. He would let them act a fool, punish them, and then he would have a judge that would help, that would come along and guide them in the right direction. But the minute that judge died, then people went right back to being a fool, and the cycle would start all over again. So in Judges, you will find stories of Samuel, Deborah, and who else? Solomon? I feel like. So, is this enough light for me? I'm only going to read what I've highlighted. Looks like I've highlighted mostly 6 in regards to Gideon. So let's see here. Okay, I'm just gonna start where we are. 5:25. Sieser asked for water, and she gave him milk in a bowl fit for nobles. She brought him yogurt. Then, with her left hand, she reached for a tent peg. Okay, all right. So, just to give context, real quick, this story is about taking down an enemy. There was, if I'm not mistaken, there had been some type of war or a siege of some sort. Something had happened where these people were attacked, right? And the opposing, one of the opposition came across this woman, thought that she was nice, and she ended up, yeah, you can come in here and I'll protect you, and I got you. And she ended up killing them with a tent peg. Okay. That's why I tell my boys all the time, just because somebody smiles does not mean they're nice. Can I see? And with her right hand, for the workman's hammer, she struck Sieser with the hammer, crushing his head. 31. Lord, may all your enemies die like Sieser. May those who love you rise like the sun in its power. So please go back and read 5, because that's actually a very good story, but I didn't highlight everything. And if I sit here and read this entire thing, we'll be here for another hour. We're already at 50 minutes. Gideon becomes Israel's judge. 7. When they cried out to the Lord because of Midian, the Lord sent a prophet to the Israelites. He said, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says: I brought you up out of slavery in Egypt. Excuse me. I rescued you from the Egyptians and from all who oppressed you. I drove out your enemies and gave you their land. I told you, I am the Lord your God, and you must not worship the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you now live. But you have not listened to me." 11. Then the angel of the Lord came and sat beneath the great tree of Ophrah, which belongs to Joash of the Kin of Azver. These are these names, okay, for real. Gideon, son of Joash, was threshing wheat at the bottom of the winepress and hid a grain from the Midianites. The angel of the Lord appeared to him and said, "Mighty hero, the Lord is with you." 13. "Sir," Gideon replied, "if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? And where are all the miracles our ancestors told us about? Didn't they say, 'The Lord brought us up out of Egypt'? But now the Lord has abandoned us and handed us over to the Midianites, excuse me." Then the Lord turned to him and said, "Go with the strength you have and rescue Israel from the Midianites. I am sending you." 15. "But Lord," Gideon replied, "how can I rescue Israel? My clan is the weakest in the whole tribe of Manasseh, and I am the least in my entire family." 16. The Lord said to him, "I will be with you, and you will destroy the Midianites as if you were fighting against one man." 17. Gideon replied, "If you are truly going to help me, show me a sign to prove that all it is really the Lord speaking to me. That it is really the Lord speaking to me. Don't go away until I come back and bring my offering to you." We drop down to 20. The angel of God said to him, "Place the meat on the unleavened bread and the unleavened bread on the rock, and pour the broth over it." And Gideon did as he was told. Then the angel of the Lord touched the meat and bread with the tip of the staff in his hand, and the fire flamed up from the rock and consumed all he brought, and the angel of the Lord disappeared. 22. Then Gideon realized that it was the angel of the Lord. He cried out, "O sovereign Lord, I am doomed. I have seen the angel of the Lord face to face." 23. "It is all right," the Lord replied. "Do not be afraid. You will not die." And Gideon built an altar to the Lord there and named it Yahweh Shalom, which means the Lord is peace. Yahweh Shalom. All right, so then we're going to skip over to, this is 634. Then the Spirit of the Lord took possession of Gideon. He blew a ram's horn as a call to arms, and the men of the clan of Ablezer came to him. He also sent messengers throughout Manasseh, Asher, Zebulun, and Naphtali, summoning their warriors, and all of them responded. Then Gideon said to God, if you are truly going to use me to rescue Israel as you promised, prove it to me in this way. I will put a wool fleece on the threshing floor tonight. If the fleece is wet with dew in the morning, but not the ground, it's dry, but the ground is dry, then I will know that you are going to help me rescue Israel as promised. And that is just what happened. When Gideon got up early the next morning, he squeezed the fleece and wrung out a whole bowl full of water. Then Gideon said to God, please don't be angry with me. I was reading this and it was like, you know what? You need another sign, sir? Another sign? That wasn't enough. Um, but I mean, seriously though, I think God has shown people in their own private lives signs, and they didn't even pay attention to them. So I can see it. Then Gideon said to God, "Please don't be angry with me, but let me make one more request. Let me use the fleece for one more test. This time, let the fleece remain dry while the ground around it is wet with dew." So that night, I thought God was pretty patient because I've seen God lose his mind in other scenarios. So this was pretty cool. So that night, God did as Gideon asked. The fleece was dry, and in the morning, but the ground was covered with dew. And that is your message. We got through it. Them names, boy. Ooh, when you read in silence, but then you read out loud, is a whole nother other. I'll be right back. All right, y'all. So we've made it to the end where we burn our bay leaves. Last but certainly not least, this is where we write our affirmations or desires or whatever you have on your mind. And we burn them knowing that we have set the intentions to see them come to fruition one way or another. Now, I'll believe with you as long as you believe with me that we don't do anything against anyone's will, no harm to be done to anyone, nothing illegal, and all positive. Okay? I hope that you have enjoyed your time with me as much as I have enjoyed my time with you at this altar. It has been an amazing delight. Thank you. Oh, I got one last thing to do before I let you go. Leaf. Some of the leaves today. Alright, it smells so amazing. Not as good as the cinnamon, but bay leaves have their own aromatic deliciousness. Alright, so last thing. Let's see, it's the ancestors. Accept my offering. Thank you for all that you do. Now, that is it. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed your time. Continue on your day being amazing. Stay wonderful. Stay hydrated. Stay safe. Stay tuned. And most of all, beloved, stay loved. Until next time, ciao.